I was standing next to my father's casket when Linda handed me an envelope. For a second, I thought it was a sympathy card. Maybe a photo. Something kind. I opened it. It was a bill. $18,000, itemized, for my share of his funeral costs. She didn't whisper. She didn't pull me aside. She said it loud enough for my aunt and 2 cousins to hear. "You owe me $18,000. I kept track of everything." I stared at the paper. My hands were shaking. How do you hand someone a bill at a funeral? How do you look someone in the eye while their father is still in the room and demand payment? I didn't know the answer then, but I know now. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Hit the like button if you've ever dealt with someone who weaponized your grief. And subscribe because this story gets wild. I thought I knew what loss felt like. I had no idea what was coming. My mom died when I was 15. Cancer, fast and brutal. After that, it was just me and Dad. He worked 2 jobs to keep me in school. Breakfast every morning, even when he was exhausted. Homework at the kitchen table. He used to say, "Keep your receipts. Life's built on proof, not promises." I didn't understand it then. I do now. When I was 23, Dad met Linda. Whirlwind romance. 3 months later, they were married at the courthouse. She was charming at first. Brought wine to dinner. Laughed at his jokes. But something felt off. The way she'd steer him out of the room when I called. The way she'd answer his phone and say he was resting. I moved across the country for work. The calls got shorter. Then they stopped. I'd email. He'd reply, but the tone was different. Clipped, formal. One voicemail 2 months before he died stuck with me. "Don't worry about me, kiddo. Everything's handled. Trust the process." I saved it. I saved everything. Emails, texts, voicemails. Mom taught me that. Dad reinforced it. I didn't know it then, but those files would become my armor. Because when I flew back for the funeral, I walked into a trap, and Linda had been setting it for months. The funeral reception was winding down. People were leaving. I was still numb. Linda found me in Dad's study. She closed the door. "We need to talk about expenses." I nodded. I figured she meant splitting the funeral home bill. Maybe flowers. She pulled out a folder, opened it, and started reading. Funeral flowers, $4,200. Casket, $7,200. Your graduation dinner, $1,800. I blinked. Wait, my graduation dinner? That was 7 years ago. She didn't look up. Your father paid for it? I supported him while he supported you. Now you support me. The list kept going. $950 a month. Retrospective housing. For living in my childhood bedroom when I visited. I couldn't breathe. You're billing me for visiting my own father? She folded the paper. He gave you everything. Now it's time to pay it back. $18,000. You have 10 days. I stared at her. And if I don't? She smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Then I file a claim against the estate. And trust me, I'll win. She turned and walked out. I stood there, holding a bill for the cost of being loved. 10 days, and a choice I didn't think I had. I tried calling the estate lawyer, Mr. Brennan. Voicemail. I called my aunt, my cousin, 2 family friends. Linda had already gotten to them. She's grieving and you won't even help with costs? Your father would be ashamed. That was the text my aunt sent me. I opened my banking app. $11,000, my entire savings. I'd maxed my credit card just to fly out here on 2 days' notice. $18,000. I didn't have it. The next morning, a certified letter arrived at my hotel. Law firm letterhead. Formal demand. Failure to remit payment within the specified time frame will result in a formal claim filed in probate court. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at my phone. I had emails, voicemails, things Dad had said. But would they even matter? Linda controlled the narrative. She had a lawyer. She had the family on her side. I thought I'd lost before the fight even started. I had no idea how wrong I was. Because buried in my inbox was an email I'd almost forgotten. And it changed everything. I opened my laptop, searched my email for Brennan. dozens of results. I scrolled. Then I saw it. Subject line, per your father's instructions. Sent 3 weeks before he died. I clicked. The body was short. Your father has finalized his estate plan. You are named as the primary beneficiary. The will reading is scheduled for 10 days after the service. Please remain patient and do not discuss this with other parties until that time. I read it again. Primary beneficiary. The email was time-stamped. Sent while Dad was still lucid. Witnessed by the attorney. And Linda knew. She had to. That's why she wanted cash now. Before the will reading. Before everyone found out. I sat back. One email. One sentence. But I needed more. Because Linda wasn't going to back down. And I couldn't go into that reading unarmed. So I kept digging. And what I found made my blood run cold. I finally got through to Mr. Brennan the next morning. I told him about the bill. The threats. He was quiet for a long moment. She's already filed a preliminary objection to the will. My stomach dropped. She claims your father verbally promised her the entire estate. She's alleging undue influence. By you. I couldn't speak. Mr. Brennan, I haven't even seen him in 8 months. She's the one who controlled everything. I know, but she's making noise. And it's going to get louder. He was right. That afternoon, my phone exploded. Group chat. 32 family members. Linda had sent a message. I hate to say this, but I need everyone to know the truth. She threatened me yesterday. Screamed at me in front of witnesses. I'm afraid for my safety. My cousin forwarded it to me with one line. Is this true? I didn't even respond. What could I say? Then I saw the obituary. Someone had updated it. In lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the following account. Linda's personal account. The deadline moved up. Settle for $15,000 in the next 7 days, or I'll drag your father's name through probate court for the next 2 years. She wanted me to fold. Instead, I started building the case. Mr. Brennan called me back that night. I'm sending you a secure link. Open it on a private device. I clicked. The first file was a PDF, 23 pages. Last will and testament of my father. Signed, notarized. Dated 4 months before his death. I scrolled to the distribution section. I leave my primary residence, investment accounts, and all personal effects to my child. My spouse shall receive a life estate in the vacation condominium located in Destin, Florida, plus a one-time sum of $50,000. $50,000. Not the whole estate. Not even close. The second attachment loaded. A handwritten letter. Scanned. Dad's handwriting. If Linda asks you for money after I'm gone, remember this. I've taken care of everything. I've made sure you're protected. Trust Brennan. Don't let her bully you. Dated 2 months before he died. I exhaled for the first time in days. He knew, he saw this coming. And he left me the proof I needed. Now I just had to use it. I asked Mr. Brennan the obvious question. Why is she doing this? $50,000 isn't nothing. He hesitated. Your father shared something with me in confidence. Now that he's gone, you need to know. He paused. Linda accumulated $87,000 in credit card debt during the marriage. Your father discovered it 6 months before he passed. I felt the air leave the room. He confronted her. She promised to stop. But the statements kept coming. Cash advances, luxury purchases. Travel, she claimed, was for his medical care. $87,000. Your father refused to add her to his accounts. That's when he updated the will. Mr. Brennan's voice softened. She has about 60 days before the credit companies file judgments. The $18,000 she's asking you for? That's her minimum payment total across 5 cards. It clicked. The bill. The timeline. The pressure. It was never about grief. It was never about fairness. It was survival. And she was willing to destroy me to save herself. I didn't hate her anymore. I just knew exactly what I had to do. I hired a probate attorney the next morning. Not Brennan. He was the estate executor. I needed my own counsel. Her name was Dr. Helen Ortiz, former judge. 26 years in family and probate law. We met in her office. I showed her everything. The bill, the emails, the will, Dad's letter. She didn't blink. We're filing a motion to enforce the will and dismiss her objection. We'll attach your father's letter, the will, and Mr. Brennan's sworn declaration as exhibits. She leaned forward. And we're requesting a full accounting of every withdrawal she made from joint accounts after your father's death. I nodded. When? Hearing is in 4 days. She slid the retainer across the desk. I signed. Then I did something I hadn't done in weeks. I smiled. I opened my email. Typed one line. Linda, see you at the reading. I hovered over the send button. Then I clicked. 4 days. The longest 4 days of my life. But I wasn't scared anymore. I was ready. The probate hearing was held in a small courtroom on the 3rd floor of the county building. Oak benches, fluorescent lights, the hum of the HVAC system. Linda arrived 10 minutes early. Black suit, confident. Her attorney was older. Expensive shoes. He looked bored. I sat on the opposite side with Dr. Ortiz. The judge entered. We stood. This is a hearing on the objection filed by Mrs. Linda Harmon to the last will and testament of the decedent. Counsel, state your positions. Linda's attorney went first. Your Honor, my client was the decedent's spouse. She asserts that he verbally promised her the estate in its entirety. The written will does not reflect his true intent. We believe undue influence was exerted by the daughter during a period of cognitive decline. The judge looked at me. I didn't flinch. Dr. Ortiz stood. Your Honor, we have clear, uncontested evidence. The will was executed 4 months prior to death, witnessed and notarized. The decedent was of sound mind. We also have a handwritten letter from the decedent, dated 2 months before death, explicitly warning of this exact scenario. She placed the first exhibit on the overhead. The will, clean, notarized, then the letter. The judge read it silently. Mrs. Harmon, do you have documentation of this alleged verbal promise? Linda's attorney fumbled. No, Your Honor, but... Dr. Ortiz, do you have additional evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Bank records. Exhibit C loaded on screen. A statement, highlighted. $22,000. Withdrawn by Linda 2 days after my father's death. Cash advance. Noted purchases. Electronics. Luxury travel. Retail. The courtroom went silent. The judge's face didn't change. But her tone did. Mrs. Harmon, you withdrew over $20,000 from a joint account before the estate was even opened. Linda's mask cracked. Those were expenses. For the funeral? The funeral cost $8,000 according to the submitted invoices. Silence. The judge closed the folder. The will is clear, properly executed, and will be upheld. The objection is dismissed with prejudice. The estate will be distributed per the decedent's written and notarized intent. Gavel. 1 strike. It was over. Linda's attorney closed his folder. Didn't look at her. She stood. Walked out. I stayed seated. Dr. Ortiz put a hand on my shoulder. You did good. I nodded. It was over. And it had just begun. The estate settled in 60 days. I inherited the house, the investment accounts, about $340,000 total. Linda received exactly what the will specified. $50,000, and the life estate in the Florida condo. Her creditors filed liens within the week. Most of the $50,000 was gone before she ever saw it. I didn't gloat. I didn't call. I didn't post about it. I just moved forward. I put the house on the market. Too many memories. It sold in 3 weeks. I kept Dad's watch. His photo albums. A few books. The rest I let go. With part of the proceeds, I did something Dad would have loved. I endowed a scholarship. $25,000 a year for first-generation college students at the local community college. They named it after him. There's a plaque in the lobby now. His name, his photo. The first recipient was a kid who worked 2 jobs, just like Dad did. I shook his hand at the ceremony. He had no idea who I was. That felt right. Linda sent an apology email 4 months later. I read it. Then I archived it. I didn't reply. Some people deserve forgiveness. Some just deserve boundaries. I chose boundaries. A few family members reached out. Quiet apologies. I accepted some. Kept distance from others. I learned something in all of this. Greed exposes itself. You don't have to chase it. You just have to wait. And integrity? That honors the people we've lost. Dad taught me to keep receipts. But more than that, he taught me that love leaves instructions, not chaos. He made sure I'd be okay, even when he couldn't say it out loud. A year later, I visited his grave, brought fresh flowers. I knelt down, put my hand on the stone. I kept my promise, Dad. Everything's handled. And for the first time since the funeral, I felt peace. Now I want to hear from you. What boundary would you set in this situation? Have you ever had to fight someone during the worst moment of your life? Drop your story in the comments. You're not alone. And if this story hit home, subscribe. There are more where this came from. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're facing something like this, talk to a licensed attorney in your area. Thank you for watching. And remember, keep your receipts.